Repairs to our aging building over the past 5 years, including some of the issues you have just seen, have approached $2 million. While nobody can precisely predict the level of these types of costs in upcoming years, with buildings that continue well beyond their intended age, it is reasonable to assume that these costs will not go down. As part of their evaluation of our current school buildings, the Ohio School Facilities Commission listed renovations and repairs that would be needed to bring our current buildings up to recommended levels for Ohio schools. They also estimated the cost in today's dollars for these renovations, which came to over $35.5 million, or approximately 88% of the cost of the proposed new building. At this level, the Commission determined that renovation would not be a good investment, and therefore no state money would be available for renovation, leaving local taxpayers to raise the entire cost. Even if renovations and repairs are spread over the 38-year time period of the proposed bond issue, the total cost for local taxpayers would exceed that of the proposed bond issue by almost $4.5 million. Inflation of the building costs over that time will almost certainly raise the bill even more. While researching this project, we received numerous comments from other school systems and would like to share with you 2 viewpoints from Loudonville High School graduates with first-hand experience in the building of the operation of new schools.
Superintendent of Schools for the Cardington-Lincoln Local District in Morrow County, just about 40 miles from the Loudonville schools, Loudonville. I'm a graduate of Loudonville High School and have always kept up with what's going on back in the old hometown through the Loudonville Times, which I've subscribed to for probably the last 40 years. I'm well aware that Loudonville is looking at an Ohio School Facilities Commission project to build new schools there. You know, our district went through a similar program about 7 years ago. I was involved in passing the school levies. The buildings were built. We've been in them for probably the last 4 years. And you know, they are the pride of our community. Now, I and my classmates while at Loudonville were always provided state-of-the-art school facilities. Unfortunately, that's been some 40 years ago. And I know you're still in the same buildings. I make 2 points about the project that's before you. First, your venture is not a question of if you are going to replace your school buildings. It's a question of when you are going to do that. Buildings have to be replaced. You have an opportunity to do that now with assistance from the state to the tune of $15 million. Loudonville's had many fine graduates come out of its schools, and I would sure like to see that continue. I think you have a grand opportunity before you, and I hope that voters will take advantage of that and pass this issue.
Hello, my name is Aaron Butts, and I'm the current treasurer at Cardington-Lincoln Local Schools and resident of Loudonville, Ohio. I would like to share with you some of the experiences I have seen here upon completion of Cardington-Lincoln's $25 million OSFC project. New schools equal new opportunities, and that was indeed the case here at Cardington, where we saw an increase in student enrollment. We saw more efficient running HVAC and electrical systems, as well as a reduction in maintenance costs for all of our buildings. Do new schools provide benefits for the faculty and staff and students, but they also provide benefits for the community. In our situation, we saw a $3.1 million expansion in our local manufacturing company, Cardington Utaka. Cardington-Lincoln took advantage of their opportunity, and it's provided a newfound sense of pride and commitment amongst the community and student population. I hope Loudonville takes advantage of their opportunity and do the same. Thank you.
I'd like to take the residents of the Loudonville-Perrysville school system back about 90 years, back to the year 1924. My dad was a senior in high school in the old red brick school building, which sat behind the present-day Bud building. The very next year, the Bud Building opened as a brand new school and operated together with the old red brick school building here in Loudonville. About the same time that was happening, Perrysville was also building a new building, which I believe opened the same year. Loudonville came back in the 30s and added to the Bud Building, added an auditorium, added a whole wing to it. Perrysville added to their building back in the 1950s. In Loudonville, the McMillan Building was built in the early 50s. I happened to be a 6th grader the first year that was opened. And then, of course, when Loudonville-Perrysville consolidated, the brand new high school was built at its present location and was opened right around Christmas time of 1963. That's the last time the community has done anything as far as construction or additions to their facilities. It's been almost 50 years, and prior to that, always within 10 to 15, or at the most about 20 years, something was done as far as construction, addition, etc. The state of Ohio has stepped in now at this point, and they have offered us $15.5 million to assist with the construction of brand new facilities. And I know people are saying we don't need them, but in reality, regardless of the job that Chuck Knight and his crew have been doing as far as our present facilities, trying to keep them maintained and in as good a shape as possible, we do have technological issues, we have handicapped accessibility issues, we have security issues that aren't going to get better, and we also have problems with certain parts of the buildings that are beginning to crumble, etc. So those are issues that have to be addressed. We have had great citizens, wealthy citizens in our community, Hugo Young, Charles Kettering, for example, that have been great benefactors to our community and left a tremendous legacy to the community. Most of us, maybe none of us, are in a position to leave that type of a legacy. But we're all in a position to leave a wonderful legacy that's going to last for the next 50, 75, 100 years to our young people and to the communities as a whole. The reality of it is, if we do our small part and contribute to this new facility construction, we're going to have a legacy that is going to be tremendous for our community. Because any way you look at it, great schools do grow great communities.
Great schools 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 grow